There are fights that end with slammed doors, and then there are the ones that end with silence. Sam and Tonia had stopped shouting days ago, not because they understood each other, but because they were both too tired to keep trying. It didn't happen all at once. At first it was small things, unanswered questions, half-listened conversations, apologies given out of routine instead of change. Each argument sounded different, but meant the same thing. They weren't being heard. One evening, the words finally came out. Not loud, not dramatic, just exhausted. Tonia said she was done, and strangely, that hurt Sam more than any insult ever could, because anger still means someone cares enough to fight, but giving up means they've stopped believing anything will change. That night, the house didn't feel peaceful. It felt paused. They still lived together, still shared the same kitchen, still slept on the same bed, but their lives no longer touched. Mornings became quiet routines. No greetings, no checking in. Just two people carefully moving around each other like strangers renting the same space. Sam stayed awake most nights, not replaying who was right, but remembering who they used to be. The laughter in the car, the random conversations that lasted past midnight, the ease of simply existing together. He realized something uncomfortable. They hadn't fallen out of love in one moment. They had slowly replaced connection with survival, and silence was finishing the job. So one morning he did something different. Not another promise, not another defense. He told her he had found a therapist. He didn't argue. He didn't convince. He just asked for one session. If nothing changed, he wouldn't ask again. Tonia didn't agree, but she didn't refuse either. Minutes later, she was walking toward the car. The drive there was quiet, not the heavy, angry quiet they had grown used to, just unfamiliar. For the first time in weeks, neither of them pretended everything was fine, and neither of them tried to win. They simply existed in the same space again. When the car stopped, neither of them moved. The building stood outside waiting, but the real moment was inside the car. Sam looked at her hands resting in her lap, hands he had held for years, and somehow stopped holding without noticing. He reached over carefully, like approaching something fragile. Then he held her hand, and in a voice softer than any argument he'd ever made, he told her he still loved her, and that he was willing to do whatever it takes to make it work. Not to be right, not to avoid loneliness, but to fight for them. For the first time since she said she was done, the silence changed. It wasn't distance anymore. It was hesitation. Because sometimes relationships don't end when love disappears. They end when hope does. And sometimes, all love needs is proof it's not fighting alone. Love doesn't always end loudly. Sometimes it just gets tired. Thank you for watching Sam and Tonia's story. Subscribe and like for more. Until the next episode, I'll see you at 1806.